Okay. Get the link. All right, to business. I think there we are. We want super collider code. I think what we're going to do today is we're working on the benchmarks. Here, let's look at rest over for a second. All right, here's the terminal. So, oof. Wow. Okay. I don't know why it's so laggy now. Oh yeah, is this a problem with the CPU load or what's going on here? Oof. I may not be able to do this. Yeah, I might have to go back to smaller streaming amounts. Or I don't know quite why RustOver is being so laggy. That's interesting. Anyway, the idea is if we try to run the benchmarks right now, okay. Classes minus I bench scripts. Oof, wow, this is fun to type. This is fine. Those classes bench all minus A equal wow. Yeah. So this is what's going on is that failed to convert 10 to an integer. Is SuperCollider similarly laggy, or is this just a RustOver problem? There. Yeah, no, SuperCollider is fine. RustOver gets all weird when you're trying to stream from it. That's funky. Close that terminal. Yeah, may not be usable in this state. We might set up Visual Studio. Well, we don't need it quite yet. All right, so there was a the errors that we're getting, to explain what's going on. The errors that we're getting are about casting numbers. So SuperCollider lets you go pretty loose with mixing floats and integers. And in fact, there is a list of type conversions that a colleague made, which are on the Hadron website, kind of buried right now. Like look weirdly in like the project planning. No, not the point printing. Bin ops and SCLang. So I'll put it in chat, but this URL is probably going to change too. But basically, we have a this URL has this table. I should probably just copy it from the source. Mid-ops.md. Yeah. Oops. That's not it. That's a weird automatically generated index. Binops.md. There it is. Okay. Here's the table. Oh, it's really... the editor doesn't like big tables either. Oh my gosh. Okay. This is quite clearly a... the fail whale has come for Rust Rover today. We're going to open up VS Code. There we are. And this. And then we'll configure OBS on the fly here. And then we're going to duplicate this one. That might have actually been the problem. I just realized that I had capture turned on. Let's try it. 1 second. Here. Pardon my mess while I... Nope. Rust Rover still sucks. Okay. Camera source. Delete. This. Duplicate. You can tell I'm really good at OBS right now. Screen capture. Code. The live edit, not so good. Did I accidentally quit VS Code? Code. They just call it code now. Code. There we are. Okay. Alright. Attempt 2. There I am back. I'll delete this one. And I just deleted it again. That's really good. Okay. capture. Okay. Okay, cool. All right. We wanted binops. There's this thing. This is an automatically generated table that capital G made of all of the binops and their expected type of result when mixing types. So, here they all are now as a giant comet in SuperCluster. And generally what we observe for plus is this is float. Result is float. Is basically is float, or RHS is float, right? Like you get a float if left and right, either left and right, or both, either left and right, either left or right or both are float. And I think integer is the same. You could see star divide. Div is always integer. Which is good to know. Mod is float or. Mod seaside. Mod seaside, which I have no idea, is float or. So we've got some combos here. Pow is always float. Min is float or. Max float or. Okay. These are always binary, always bool. Always bool. But they allow, note that type mixing is allowed. I suspect internally that these are being coerced to floats for comparison. Because of the larger integer only. Bit or, yeah. Bit Hamming distance. Greatest common divisor. Round. Okay, round. Round is float or. Same with round up. Trunk. High pot. So this logic isn't as complex as I had thought. The shifts are, these are integer only. So the plan I think that we're going to make, float ors. Oh, this one's special. Type of first argument. Need to look that one up. Rand is float or. Always float. Yeah. Yuck. Points. Blend, always float. Okay. Okay. Alright. So really float or... So right now, like, we have the bin-ops, like the simple arithmetic bin-ops, like plus, minus, star, divided, implemented in... Oh, hey, it's Nathan Ho. Huh. How do I chat? I gotta figure out how to chat. It's very early days here, Mr. SynthDef. How are things? I don't know if I can type in my own chat, which seems different from Discord. I'm going through all the arithmetic operators because they are much less flexible in type in visual in Hadron than they need to be. In other words, right now, if you try to add a float to an integer, you will get an error right now, as opposed to, you know, in Super Collider SE-Lang, you will get a float. Sounds like. So these are all the arithmetic operators that we've built in. Some of these need to change. And go to simple number. So I don't think we have I think we have a built-in simple number. What is Bench still doing here? Oh, weird. Oh. Any advice for me, Synthet, about the streaming, like the streaming? Anything I can do to make your experience better? Let's see. So, oh yeah, first thing was, where's the terminal? Was I on? Okay. I think you are in the wrong prime view. Yeah, you're in the wrong. Yep. Spooky. Okay. Back to VS Code. Def too small. Text size. Yeah. Okay. Understood. Can definitely work on that. That's an easy one. I think we could go a little bit bigger. I think I just zoomed the whole window. What's the zoom now? Okay, well. So we have these built-in classes in the core library. Math, I think we had simple number. Yeah, so right now, okay. But I thought we had also declared time. So we just are adding a method right now to simple number. Okay. Actually, don't mind that. Yeah. So this is the thing right now, is that we have methods to find an integer. We have a integer defined. We need to move these methods to simple number, which is there. And so for example, so right now it's series. So stuff goes into simple number. Simple number is the parent class of both integer and float. And so if you send a message to an integer right now, like let's look at plus. Here's the built-in arithmetic add method for integer. It expects the other type to be an integer. So there's two ways we could do this. We could have add here, and we could just genericize this, probably, is that we could make integer accept a slot, and then either see if it's a float or if it's an integer. Yeah, I think this is the easiest possible thing to do. And just go from this. All right, so we're going to take a slot, and this is possibly going to return a slot. So slot is like the polymorphic type container. So and then we're going to say something like match other float integer. Maps to okay. This. Boom. Into. There we go. Okay, cool. Then the other opportunity FGHI. How's that font, Nathan? Inner. There's a teacher. Returns a or accept snake this dot as float. We could probably just go one notch. Roger. Okay. Thanks for the feedback. I appreciate it. Let me just say, okay, float inner dot inner dot as float. No, this dot as float. Plus inner into like that. Okay. Where's the fucking? Oh yeah, you don't need the prints or the braces, the curlies. There we go. Okay. There. That's your complete. Yeah. There. Hadron error. Add message. We have errors in here before, right? Nope. Okay. We're going to need all this junk. I'm going to write one of these, then I'm probably going to make a quick macro to just do the like float or type coercion, just generate a bunch of these. Message.new. There it is. It's right on the screen here. Error level. I think there's so much that I want to fix about the error system, but it's a step in the right direction from where it was. Attempt to add integer and non-numeric type into none. This is error. You need a comma. That's what it's trying to tell you. There we are. Okay, cool. That's add. Okay. So really what we want is a block. And then we'll do float. Float will handle the other case where you're adding a float to an integer. So I think I have some macros. I just always like to work off of something I've already written in the compiler. Probably no, those are done anymore. You have macros. You have one in slot that's actually somewhat relevant, and it's declared locally. One time. Close that for now. Slots mod. Here it is. Macro rules. Float or logic. Type. Type float, something like that. Int float to something like that. Okay. And then in here we're going to say that what we're looking for is 2 blocks. Because basically 2 blocks in a string, right? The error message. So what we want is the float block, the integer block. Block is a I forget they call it a function or something. We'll have to look at that. We want a int block, and we want a error message, which is a literal. Let's go look at the Rust macro handbook. It has all the types for pattern matching and these macro rules patterns. This is the wrong thing. This gave me the Rust book. Handbook. It's Rust by example. The little book of Rust macros. That's what I'm looking for. Macro rules, matching, captures. Item. It's an item. Yeah, fine. A block. Yeah. No, we want a block. We want a block. So it's just block. And this is a block. Okay, cool. So you gave me 3 arguments. What did I do with them? I said match other slot floats inner F64 float block. Oh, I think they hate doing this. I've gotten errors about this before where they're like, we don't like it when you put stuff in the match arms. We'll see if they say that. Well, you don't need it. You don't need that. What are you doing that for? You don't need that. Let's grab this. This is capital none. It's error message. Error message. Error message. And this is capital none. Big none, not little none. Sometimes you just need to plug out some code, you know? Alright, error message. Dot literal. Okay. Alright. What happens if I try to build this thing? Where is it? I wish we could just be able to minimize this. Okay, unused macro, but it wasn't mad about it. Well, let's see when I try to expand it. This. Int float. I hate that name. Let's just keep some of this. It could just be an item. What if we just made this an item? Then we can just say there. Put this here. GHI, and then put you here. So mad. Okay. There it is. And then we'll go here. Just comment this crap out for now. Okay. So mad. Expected item. No. You got an item. Put these in blocks. me be free. Okay. Inner do. Let's do float. Other. We have to give it other, don't we? Other in this context is not bad. Okay, so we say other item. So then we go other. Then we say that's $other. What now? Single token. Meta item, a path, an identifier. Okay. Can you take a function? Statement. Yeah, I don't know. This isn't feeling like it's saving a ton of work. You could just plug a function in. I'm not committed yet. Anyway, you could just plug a function in. Because this is really the only thing that needs to be parameterized. This function, this error message. We want functions, I think, but I don't know if you can hand a macro to a. I don't know if you can hand a macro to. I don't know if you can hand a function to a. You can hand a token tree. You can hand an expression. It could be a function. It could be a function. Item. Item is a function. So you could say item, other is an identifier. I don't think you need that anymore. Yeah, you do. This could be an item. This could be another item. And then you could basically say float, block, inner, like that. Then we could have, take this, you could say inner is a float, F30, F64. Okay, and then you could say inner is a 932. What are you mad about? to see that. Four of 8 problems. That's just because it's not getting the thing. An item keyword. Item. Okay, but the doc says item is cool. Item, an item, like a function, struct. Oh, I think it means like not an expression, a pattern, a statement, a type, an identifier, a path, a single token tree. You want to do the super generic token tree and see if it accepts it. Make a deal with the devil. There. Comma. Comma. Okay. Unexpected pattern. What's your problem? Okay. What if we put these in blocks? Okay, well, here's a spooky thing. You can probably get away with not having to provide an argument now. Nope, still mad about inner. Inner in this scope. Okay. Okay. No. Wanted to make inner a thing that you knew about. To placate you. Kill that. Still doesn't know about inner. It's just right over there. It's just right over there. All right. This is where textual macros are just like so much easier to deal with. Yikes. All right. I don't want to write a proc macro for that. That's dumb. Why does everything have to be a proc macro in this language? Really awkward code. So maybe you could write a function. Try. Where we have this. We're still gonna need. Let's say. Float op. There's a token tree. It's op. There's token tree. Error message. Same. Do this. Float, inner, float op, this and other, so we can say this, other, inner, slot, integer, slot, int op, this inner, and then this bullshit is the same. And then we say, this other trifun, this other, and we get a function which takes LR. I think it really, you already tried this, because you have this from lexical capture. You don't need it. This knows what this is. Here are that. I have other inner. Why are you so mad? Return. Return. Oh, later. There's a Expected unit type, found closure. .110. Oh. There's a way to just call a closure, I think, right? Let's just do this with let's just do this with a generic. Yeah, I don't know. Or bin op. Float op is a function. Generic function, generics rest generics function parameter. Functions as generic parameters. Rest generic function parameters. I know there's a way to do this. So we get into traits. We basically say generic associated types. Whole lot of me staring at Google today. And here I thought this was going to be a relatively straightforward implementation of a bunch of arithmetic functions. But now I had to go off and make it hard on myself by trying to figure out how to do this generically. But what might be the most elegant way to do it generically, which is a fun learning opportunity. I don't want a dynamic. Okay, so you have a I mean, you could do it this way. This is terrible. I hate all of this. All right. Here we go. We're gonna do something like this. Trait. Int op. Fun int ops. Int op. Do int takes a other I32 and it returns a I32. We also have do float. It takes an other, which is an F64, and it returns an F64. You're saying these are unused. Oh yes. This is what happens when you switch between SuperCollider and Rust programming all day long. Okay, it's unused, right? That's your complaint. Yeah. All right. So now we're going to say we have this function, generic function, which is float or. It takes an op, which is an implementation of int op. It returns this code that we get to write, and it has a method which is other. It returns a result, slot, or Hadron error. Then we say if either it's like return float if float. If float, return float. If float, return float. And we say it takes other, which is a slot. And then we're just going to do this. And it takes a, oh, it needs a name. It needs a verb, which returns a string. Self. Okay, cool. This and other. This other. This is an integer. I don't think you need, yeah, no, because it's a function, it needs both. No, this, it needs this and this. There we go. This, which is a slot. Okay, there we go. All right, so now we say if float, return float. If other is a float, return a float. Otherwise, if it's an int, return an int. Otherwise, return an error. Other. Okay. Oh. Oh. O dot. Do int. Do float. This. Enter. Just switch these around. Yeah, this is feeling less painful. Oh, do int this inner, and then we use static polymorphism. So yeah, this will be compile time polymorphism. Okay, so and then we got one more. Here, get error returns a static string. O dot get error. O dot get error. Dot into. Okay. So then we say for this one, we say, hey, actually, I want you to call. I want you to call if-f-rf. We need to come up with a much less shitty name. So actually we want a add-op, struct add-op. It's a nonce. It does struct add-op, impl intop or add-op. Need some stuff in here. Do floats. This integer other f64. We said it returns 64. What's your problem here? Fun. Float inner. No. You're doing all that stuff. Oh no. Float. This, clean up the types a little bit. This really is just this. This is float plus inner. Yeah, okay. This is working much better. Okay. Let that be a lesson to you, young lady. This dot inner plus inner, and then last one. Okay. And then we say that this thing is really a call to if-rf. Oh. Fun. Add up. This another. We have it. Okay, Mrs. Compiler, are you happy with it? They should be inners. Those should be inners. Those should be named inners. No, others good. It's good. Others good. Others good. So yeah, inner. Yeah, others good. This should be other. Jump the gun here. 90. Line 90. Okay, cool. Clean this code up, please. Alright. Let's see. Yeah, okay. Okay, okay, okay. I don't think we have a test yet for this, but let's add in ops and see if this worked out. I mean, it's a little verbose, you know, about this trait, have a function that requires the trait, but okay. Suboptimal, all right, but anyway. Lang tests, here we are, eval, interpreter, no, cd literals, cd integer, there's all these. Yeah, okay, to add float. Float.scp. Now we have a problem. We'll see what happens. Let's switch it backwards compiler here. So we have this cool script. Where are you though? I'm all spooked out now. Okay, you were in the right place. This guy. All right. So this will run all of the. I guess I got to make the font bigger too, much bigger. And bigger. Okay. There we are. So this will run all of the tests in the eval directory. Let's quickly add one. But notice something. All right, so yeah, we've changed integer a bit. Add lane. Okay. No, we're not going to commit yet. And if we try to build right now, it'll fail. The build script will fail because it says that it doesn't have the corresponding test. All right, so we're just going to run this. And what it does is it evaluates all the files and the SCD files. But if we go back in the tests in the eval directory, so these are all evaluation tests, which are short snippets of SELang code that we run in SELang, save the result in a text file, whatever the output from the interpreter is, or actually the result of evaluating it. I think it skips the print lines. And then we run the same scripts in Hadron as part of a cargo test and make sure that they're producing the same results. But the problem is that recently, some of the answers I've noticed in the supercollider files are different depending on the version of supercollider that we're running. But I think, okay, all right. Anyway, cargo test. Let's see if this works now. Close this. turntables and a microphone. Okay. Yeah. Okay. All right. So we had an app float. Let's just make sure that .7. Okay, good. Yeah, that's fine. All right, we'll do the same for subtract. We'll do it for all the subopt. Or subopt. Other minus subtract subopt. There you have it. Now div. How come you don't like that? Oh, you have to change the results here. Slot and slot. And slot. Because it could also be returning a float. Now, check our notes. Div is always a float. That's wild. Okay. There's a few that are always float. I think this is if float turn float. Sub is if return float. Multiply is if float return float. Multiply is if float return float. It's basically the same thing. Molop. Molop. If float return float. Multiply if float return float. You know what? What if we just did a get verb? Could be a much shorter. Let's change this. Get verb format. Attempt to cannot and non-numeric type. Oh, get verb. Yes. Okay, get verb. This is just literally subtract. No. Too fancy. Molop. Because you need to take a slot Missy and return a slot. Divide is always a float. Oh. Okay. There we go. Verb. Oh. Is it in top? Nope. Yeah, no, I'm trying to help. I understand. I cannot be helped. Always going to return. Results is always a float. Hadron error. Boom. Match other. No. It's always a float. Inner. Oh, do float. On this other. Why are you adding the label? Oh, that's not actually code. That's just, I wish they would make that a little lighter so it doesn't look like I'm okay. Oh. This other inner as no, this is O as slot integer, I think. O as O dot as integer. No, just call this like slot integer. Inner. Okay, no. What you have to do is you have to go up here to where we added this as float. Where's your... I think this is... I don't know if I love that anymore. Nothing's needed here. Yeesh. Yes. And then this stuff's the same. always float. Div up. Boom. This is div up. Or div up. The slot. Div up. Do float. Reachable. Used arguments. Divide. Always float. There. How you like me now? Okay. Modulo. Let's look at our notes. Modulo is do we have it? This is one of the ones. There's a float. It's if float then float. But this is weird. Interesting that the didn't end up on the table. So the modulus operator as defined by the, I don't know, I'm gonna leave this one for now. I'm feeling lazy. Pow is always float. And then we have to go do the other half of these. I'm kind of curious to see how oh. I need to sort out modulus. This is, let's see here. Okay. Oh, you're probably doing integer divide, because you are probably multiplying. Integer divide. You were probably, yes, you forgot to. Okay, now you gotta go do the mirror image over on the other side. Alrighty. We got it on one side. We could do it on the other, which is the float side. So let's hide the terminal for a minute. Oops. Right. Okay. Same thing. So if your float, these are always float. So refactor this to be top to bottom. Equal this dot inner dot to string. If this dot inner dot brackets equals 0.0. Push stir. Let me just sacrifice this one. Strong string 'em. There we are. Okay. I like that better. That's top to bottom. All right. So. All right, well, we got through the integer ones. I think the float ones are going to be pretty similar, repetitive kind of thing. But I'm thinking I might need to go for now. So, you know, thanks to everyone who joined. And we will probably start doing these more regularly. A lot of lessons learned today. Thanks to Cynthia for dropping by and giving me some feedback on the stream. And yeah, I'll catch you next time.